Hello, it's Rachel. I've been meaning to do one of these at presents for a couple of weeks now, and I suppose there's no time like the present. Yes, still sort of unwinding from the day. Oh right, I bought these yarns a couple of days ago. I just sort of wanted to show them really quick. This one and this one here. I got them at the local Michael's. I make these pouches for my decks like this. And I thought these were suitable for a couple of the decks that I had in mind that I just need to stop using the boxes for. They're getting all beat up. So I suppose we'll start with a little bit of a recap. So let's see, Halloween. Okay, Halloween, I don't usually do anything for Halloween these days. I can't remember the last time that I went to a party or a bar. Maybe we went to a bar last year. I don't remember. But my daughter, like, I am a mom, so it sounds silly to say I don't do anything for Halloween, but my daughter typically goes with her father for Halloween. It's just their tradition. He takes her into Salem and they trick or treat there. And I don't do that. I avoid Salem actually all throughout October because it's just insane in terms of parking and crowds and everything, and people from all over the country, the world, that come, and there's a lot of great fun people, but you know, it can get a little crazy. I used to go in, you know, back in the day with my ex-husband. We would go to like these beer fests. It was fun, I suppose. Anyway, I'm rambling. So this year, my daughter actually opted out for going trick-or-treating with friends. She wanted to hold the traditions, and she had said that, you know, she wanted me to come. You know, her father said I was welcome to join. I wasn't going to drive. He does the driving. We have a friend, like a mutual family friend that lives in Salem, so he's always guaranteed this parking spot. Anyway, I never used to go with them. It was just the dynamics were just not. Anyway, and now that my daughter's older, I don't see her getting confused about, you know, mommy and daddy being together. Too much information. But I decided, okay, yeah, I'll go. And I was really worried that it was just going to be impossible, because the Chamber of Commerce had mentioned like a week before, like, don't come into Salem, like Halloween weekend. If you're coming, take the train. That they were experiencing like a record for visitors. So I just thought this is going to be too crowded and not fun at all. But we took the train to Beverly, and like the train from Beverly to Salem is like 2 minutes long, and actually everything was fine. It was a really nice warm night. It was like in the 70s, and where we were trick-or-treating, my daughter, her father, and her friend Emily, like, it was normal. It was trick-or-treating like if I'd been in my hometown back in Western New York. We walked down all like those, you know, those beautiful streets with the old mansions, and it was very, I don't know, sort of quaint, old-fashioned, just very charming. It was really beautiful, actually, very pleasant. We were able to find food without too much of a problem. We ordered ahead at this place that we like, Opus, and it was a little chaotic bypassing the long line of people to get in to get our takeout, but everything was fine. The only thing is, when we were walking back to the train, I'm really glad that we weren't outsiders, that we weren't trying to head back into Boston, that we were heading back to Beverly, Newburyport area, because if we had been going to another train station, we would have been those people waiting maybe hours to get an empty car, you know, or a car where you could access. I don't know. But anyway, it was fun. It was a good Halloween. So I'm glad that I did that. That was fun. And now we are getting close to Thanksgiving. And I am one who, I don't know, past years or decade, really, I kind of hate the holidays. My daughter tends to go away to Philadelphia area, and my family that I grew up with are hours and hours away, and it's just me and my boyfriend, and we have a nice time together, but it's just a lot of stress. I don't know. And then Christmas is another story. But I'm looking forward to this year because my daughter is just, she doesn't have anywhere she has to go. She's just staying home with me and my boyfriend and our little cat. And he bought a really small little turkey, and we're gonna make some mashed potatoes, some Brussels sprouts, some carrots, and some pie, and just, like, you know, watch some movies or programs that we enjoy and relax. So anyway, let's see. I suppose we will start with the decks. So what have I been working with? The same things for the most part. I'm not going to show everything. You know, I'll show like the obvious. Here's one of my Thoth decks. This is the US Games, the deluxe size. Very nice. I don't know. This was just a good time to record. The house is quiet. My boyfriend, not that he's disruptive, but he was away at a gig in Cambridge. I would love to go. I love going when I can to hear him play, but it's a school night for my daughter. And I actually felt kind of bad for him because it's like really cold and windy. I mean, I should be so lucky. It's been summer weather, so I think we're just feeling that, you know, disparity, the change. It's really not that horrible, but it could be less windy. I'm still using my Daydreaming in situ. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I think I've shown this in my other videos, but I'm still enjoying this very much. Still considering getting a backup at some point because I just want to be able to hold on to it forever. It's beautiful. Let's see, what else have I been using? I have this little Scorpio card sitting here from the Minchiati. I was using this as like a reference for one of the drawings I'm working on, and it's appropriate. I don't know. So this is a deck that I just got. I had been thinking about it for a little while. I've been aware of it for longer, and I thought it was really strange. I think the first time I saw it, I don't know if I really thought it was that strange. I just had like no intention of bringing it into my collection. I don't know how it worked its way into my subconscious or whatever, but I don't know. I can't talk. I don't know why I'm doing this video. Maybe I shouldn't upload it. Maybe this will be more like a test. There was just something about it that I wanted. That makes sense, Rachel. I don't have a lot of decks like this. It's quirky. I've been told that I'm quirky. You know, I like its vibes. I like its atmosphere. I haven't used it too much yet, but I was feeling pressure because I noticed that it was in low stock, and I know how that goes. I've missed out on a couple of decks that way. For budgeting purposes and trying not to be impulsive, or just knowing that I'm not going to use this right away, and then when I'm ready, it's gone. So I wanted to get it. I like this card stock. I feel like when I use it, I'm not worried too much about its longevity. I feel that it's durable. I'm not worried about it chipping too much. I like this. It's a matte without being super rose petally, which I don't mind rose petal, but it clings. I don't worry about like a varnish chipping off. I have quite a few self-published decks that are this, and it doesn't have any of those weird, you know, like, I don't know, the weird lip on it. It's intriguing. I'm thinking it'll bring something new to the table, and like the way that I interpret cards, or maybe I felt that it might hit me in a visceral sort of way. I don't know. I like the colors. There's something about it that, and something about the line work, and it brings to mind for me just something, you know, retro, sort of 70s or something. And I love the checkers. I love checkers. I think it's in the sword suit that you see the checkers. I love that. This is so cute. I have, how many pairs do I have? How many pairs of Vans do I have, the checkers? I think I have 3 pairs of the checkered ones, like different colors. Anyway, I'm not gonna like flip through the whole deck. It's not a walkthrough. Oh, and it comes with the little booklet. Seems nice. I'm looking forward to reading the interpretations. Let's see here. I'm still using my Shewolf and enjoying the guidebook. I've actually read through most of this guidebook, if not all, and using the interpretations for my daily readings lately. I'm not going to show too much of this because I've talked about this in a couple of other videos, but it's, and I'm also using the Serpent Fire by the same creator. I just didn't want to bring everything out. I'm getting very powerful readings from this, my own like personal work, and learning a lot, and the readings are sticking with me throughout the day. And sometimes when I need to check myself, like put myself in check, I'm able to remember one of the cards that I drew, and I'm like, aha, right, I was warned to watch out for that. Might want to cool that, or stop thinking that way. So I just got this and it's so cute. It's the smallest deck that I own, and it's funny that I like it because I could have gotten the deluxe size, which is just like you know, playing card size, but I actually was quite taken with this. I found it very charming. And then that is funny for me because I think I mentioned already that my very first deck was a low Scarabeo mini, and I never really used it because I was annoyed that it was too small. And that is probably a little bit larger than this. But honestly, that deck was quite busy. So it was difficult for me to enjoy the images. I later on, like many years later, purchased the full size. That was the Harmonious Tarot. But yeah, this is just very simple in comparison. I don't struggle at all to see that. It's so cute. It's been an Oracle deck season for me. I don't know. I love this. I've only done maybe one reading with this. I got it very recently. And now my daughter wants one for Christmas. So we'll see. So that is, did I even say what it was? That is the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. I love Patrick Valenza. So charming. How much fun is that? He's one of those artists who's always producing something, and it seems like he really enjoys it. I mean, you should, but you know what I mean. It seems like effortless, which I'm sure it's not. But as for myself, you know, I don't even necessarily call myself an artist because I will go months and months sometimes without creating anything because I feel that I don't have any vision or time. And I admire that. I have a friend who's an artist and always painting or drawing. And he's always like, you should be drawing every day. And I've gotten a little bit better about it, but no, I don't. Lately I've been. But as a whole, no. I get sidetracked by other interests and things that I'm doing. So what else have I been using? Well, we're going to talk about this a little bit. I mentioned this in my other video, my other at present, that my morning routine is that I've been using this ritual planner, and I mentioned how I was hesitant to buy it because I thought it was a little pricey, and I decided to just bite the bullet and do it because if I was going to spend over $30 on a planner, then it was going to behoove me to actually use it. And I have been using it, and it's actually really benefited my my practice. It really has. I'm really thinking more about the cards and the interpretation. So you have like a monthly reading, which is really interesting that for October I got all majors. And, you know, energy, love, money, work, health, spirit, your goals, and what you're inspired by. Oh, I hope you guys can't really read this. And this is your daily, and you choose a 3-card spread. And I bought the little stickers, and then in the back, there's full moon and new moon spreads. I am so happy with myself for buying this because it's given me the discipline that I was lacking. I've been, you know, I don't want to say forcing, but it's sort of like that. It is forcing me to spend more time with the cards because lately I was not devoting the time that I used to my cards. It was always sort of rushed because I was just not having time between whatever I do during the day, you know, working, and I don't even have to work every day because we work from home, but working, reading, getting my daughter to and from school and to dance, whatever activity, errands. you know, like buying groceries, making dinner, even though my boyfriend makes a lot of meals as well, so I'm lucky there. My workout, which takes like over an hour and a half, and then, you know, family time. And I like to draw, and I like to journal, and listen to music, and other things that I do. And it's just, sometimes I was like, oh my God, I have to read my cards really quick. I diligently have done it every single day for years, but it got crazy with my schedule, especially during the summer when I was even busier because we were doing fun summer stuff, that I was like, wow, my tarot practice needs to, I call it practice like I am a practitioner. I'm not. I only read for myself. But my studies, I call it studies, is really waning. I need to work on that, and that has provided me with that discipline, and I have actually been really enjoying it. So here's one of those little pouches I crocheted. So I've been working on my little tarot lexicon, my little flashcards, and I've been beefing it up because I mentioned how I had started this a few years ago and I stopped. See how I stopped a few years ago? So now if I do a reading and I draw one of the cards, I beef it up. I try to fill up the whole card. I don't know if I'm making too much sense, but I've been culling from different sources that I enjoy, as well as things that I've remembered on my own. But one of those sources that I mentioned is this She-Wolf. It's been great. And I've also been using the Understanding Crowley's Thoth, you know, which is a bit confusing because at first when I did those note cards, it was going to be a Rider-Waite flashcard set, and then I was going to do a separate one for Thoth. And I don't know, I just kind of ditched that idea because I realized that it's become both. And honestly, the majority of the books that I've been using, or my own personal interpretations, have been more like Thoth. But I mean, it's from the same thing, really. But yeah, I've been using this Eden Gray Complete Guide. I just found this cover art so charming, so 70s, right? I will read this cover to cover at some point. I bought it this summer in Salem because my daughter was curious about it. She was reading a Rachel Pollack book I had, and it talked about this. And another one of the sources I've been using is this. This is the Mirror of the Soul. Most people have the other copy. This is part of a set from AGM with, you know, the smaller size Thoth deck. It's really lovely little book. I did read this in its entirety a few years ago. This here, so I mentioned in my other video how I was reading it and not really retaining anything. And now that I've been using it to draw more meaning from my daily readings, I'm actually getting more out of it. Things are clicking a bit more. So I really, 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 really love this deck. I don't know why I said really so many times. Hang on. Where is it? This here. Oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. I bought this a couple years ago. So, you know, T. Susan Chang and M.M. Moline, I forget how you pronounce her name, but I have been an avid listener to their wonderful podcast, Fortune's Wheelhouse. I've listened to all of the episodes, and you know, I joined the Patreon membership, and I was lucky to win a deck, which was really cool. I have all of her decks, and I have a couple of other books by Susan, and I bought one of her little perfumes, the Babylon one, which is fun. But I've been very much looking forward to just sitting down and reading this book, you know, cover to cover. I'm like that. Every book that I have to read the whole thing, which is quite a feat because I have so many books, like you wouldn't believe. Whenever my mom visits, I get a little bit of guilt about it because she knows that, you know, there's always a book that I want. So, I have gotten rid of some things over the years, but there's bookshelf full in my bedroom. There's bookshelves in here. This is my office, my art room. There are books on top of my armoire. There's a stack higher than my lamp by my bedside. There's actually 2 bookshelves in my bedroom, and then the armoire, and then down in the living room, that's where the really, really big bookshelves are. Like, that's where, I don't even know if it's the majority of our books are housed, but it is. And then we have a second living room with the piano room, and there's a shelf in there, a couple of shelves in there. I think maybe the only room without books is the bathroom. And then I have stuff in the attic that I put in bins. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that so much, but I've been using this for my flashcards, and it's reminded me, like, yes, I'm so excited to really delve into this book. And then there's this, which most people know. This is an awesome book. This is just, I have used this for almost every card. I love this to death. This was definitely a deck that I didn't think was going to be in my collection because I do like vampires. And while I did read like all of Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles, like a decade or 2 ago, I don't remember when, I never considered myself like, that's my aesthetic. But I don't know, as some people have pointed out, I may be a little bit more goth than I think. But it was also the artwork itself. It just wasn't my vibe. But I heard about how amazing this book is, and I didn't believe that it was. And then when I started reading it, I downloaded the app first for $4 to decide. I felt like such a snob, because I can be. I'm like, I'm such a snob. This book is amazing. Now, this is one of the reasons, I think some people don't realize this, that one of the reasons that it's so deep, the interpretations are so deep, is it's a Thoth deck. It doesn't come out and say it, but it is Thoth. I know that now that I know more, but it is. When I was first reading this, I didn't know, but it is. And I mean, look at how meaty it is. There aren't even any photos in here. It's all just text for the most part. And the deck here, you know, and I've been using this a little bit this season. I didn't think that I liked the art. I mean, admiring the talent, like they're obviously like really, you know, well put together, these paintings or whatever, but I actually did really grow to enjoy it. I think it's actually very beautiful. Atmospheric, for sure. I love the skies, and I am a fan of the different suits being sort of color-coded. So it's a great deck. I love the kings in this deck because of the skies. They're so cool. I really recommend it, especially if you love vampires. Like, it's a win-win. It's a deck that is great for beginners and also for people who are well-versed in tarot, because there's something to appreciate for everyone. It's just all around wonderful, and I know I've heard some people kind of knock it because everyone is thin and pale and beautiful, but I don't think that when Ian Daniels created this, he was trying to exclude anyone. That was not his intent at all. I mean, when you think of vampires, you typically do, right? You think of like someone who's thin and pale and perfect, because whatever, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But it's like the feeling I get when I use the Navigator's Tarot. It's the same vibe I get with this, that Ian Daniels just had the best intentions for whoever was going to bring this deck into their life. Just wanted something better for them. I don't know. I just feel something very warm and loving in that deck. It's wonderful. And it's not a deck that I use all the time. And I think it's just because, like I said, I'm thinking about some of the other things that are maybe more Rachel aesthetic, but it's wonderful. It's beautiful, it's powerful. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. So another deck that I've been using is, I'm still using my Oracle with the Radiant Sun. I'm going to try to wrap this up soon. I talk so much. I'll just show a few cards. Yeah, I just do this in the morning for my, you know, astrology. Like, you know, we have Mars and Aquarius. You know, I don't know. I love the art. I love the art, and I've learned a lot through this deck. So that's been fun. Let's see here. All right. So yeah, here's another Oracle deck that I got. Another Patrick Valenza. So this was one of his like bumped boxes, and it looks kind of beat up, but actually it's fine. The cards themselves are fine. So it was like a big discount, and I chose the blue because it was on discount and I really liked it, but I kind of want to get another one in either the original white or like parchment color, or I kind of like the orange one. But I love this art style. I love it. I mean, it's pretty, I want to say it's charming, but it's pretty dark. Like, some of the imagery is pretty dark. Like, you see people hanging and stuff, and but I've used this, yeah, I've been using this a bit with alongside my daily tarot readings, and I downloaded and printed the guidebook, and I'm enjoying it. I'm getting something out of it. So that is the Oracle of Black Enchantment, and I hear there's a Tarot of Black Enchantment coming out, and that's exciting. So yeah, speaking of Patrick Valenza, this here I can't stop using. I love this. I love this so much. Oh my god, I love this so much. Oh my god, I love this so much. I own this in more than one color variation. This is the Paradoxical. I asked for the original coloring, illustrated minors, Italian text for Christmas because I thought, why not? Decks make me happy. This is such a beautiful Marseille. I'm having so much fun with this, and it reminds me that I really need to crack down and read more on my Marseille. I want to get Hodorowski's book, but I was like, Rachel, read the other couple books that you have first, and then read that, because you have so many books. And I will get it. I will get the other book, but the Hodorowski, I mean. And I have a collection of Marseille. I'm taken with it. I love old. I love old things. I love old shit. It's a joke. And my boyfriend has side-eyed me about that because, you know, we have a little bit of an age disparity in our relationship, but it's not. It's true though. It's true. It's true. I've always been like that. So that's, I think, why I am taken with Marseille. And this was probably the first contemporary created Marseille that I can think of that I was attracted to, because it has that old world charm. A lot of these beasties and things that you see, like, it's reminiscent of crazy creatures that you would have seen in past centuries, but it's also very quirky and contemporary. But anyway, overall, I get like a very old world feel about it. Why can't I talk tonight? Oh, I love this. So yeah, I'll do a reading with this, and I'll pull out an oracle card from my Black Enchantment, and it just pairs so well with it. And I love the Ace of Cups in Marseille. I like all of the aces. I like all the aces in Rider-Waite too. Like, aces in any deck I like. I like the traditional imagery, but especially the Marseille Ace of Cups. They're so beautiful sometimes. I don't know. So I think I showed all of my decks that I wanted to show. I'm still using my Brian Eno oblique strategy cards I told you about. I use these at night if I'm going to work on my art. And I'll pull a card, and I end up using the strategy. And sometimes, lately, it hasn't really been clicking with me, but I think that's because I'm getting over being sick. So when I do work on it, it's just sort of tedious grunt work. There's a lot of details in it that I'm just sort of piecing together. But overall, like, I love that deck, so, and it works really well for me. So we'll just jump right into the music then, because Brian Eno, oblique strategy cards. But yeah, so what I've been listening to is, yeah, here we are. So there's some CD representations here. Basically, Brian Eno. Here Come the Warm Jets, Another Green World, Before and After Science. There's a couple of other ones too, but that's what I have sitting here. This Jack White album that I bought at Newberry Comics, his new album, I'm really having fun with that. I haven't been listening to it as much as the Brian Eno, but I was playing it in the car the other day or week or something, and my boyfriend liked it. Which he doesn't like Brian Eno, but I mean, they're two completely different things, but he liked this, so that made me happy, because I've been listening to a lot of music lately that he doesn't really jive with. But I kind of had a feeling he would, because this past summer I really I didn't introduce him, because I'd already done that. I'd already introduced him to Led Zeppelin, but I really made him a fan this summer, because I would play a Led Zeppelin album every time we were in the car driving to the beach or Salem, and he got to know all of the albums that way, and he became such a fan that he bought like a Led Zeppelin t-shirt this summer at this little market we were in Copley Square. So anyway, so music. Now we'll just go on to the books, and then that'll be it. I'm done talking. So I just read this. I bought this some time ago just for fun. Like, I knew some of the things in here weren't going to really apply to me, but I just thought it would be fun. I love Dame Darcy, and it was very affordable. And I also thought maybe my daughter might find it fun, just for some empowerment, you know. Her illustrations are lovely. They're so charming. They're fun. I have a couple of her decks. I've learned some things, though, actually. I didn't know anything about palm reading, and I knew she was a palm reader, but it made me look at my palms, and I realized that my boyfriend and my daughter have, what is it, the fate line that goes up, and I'm like, I don't have that. And my boyfriend, I didn't even tell him why I was asking to see his palms. Like, are you reading palms now? It just sounded like so judgmental. It was so funny. Anyway, let's see, what else have I read? So this is funny. I think I mentioned it in my last video. I read a couple of my daughter's Who Was books just because she loves them so much, and some of them she rereads. She just really likes history. But I read Ulysses S. Grant because he's a person that I find interesting. I have his book that I need to read. I haven't actually read it, but my introduction to him was through an Edmund Wilson essay. I read like this giant book of Edmund Wilson writings, and he talked about Ulysses S. Grant, and I was like, he sounds like such an interesting person. I really don't read much about US presidents. I kind of shunned US history in school. I didn't like it. I was more into Europe and, you know, ancient world history, but anyway. And Mozart, just for fun, because I freaking love Mozart so much. You know me, you know. And I have a few Mozart biographies around the house, but I had to read the Who Was. It was so easy. It took like an hour or something. I'm still reading Dune. This is the final one. The second one, not written by Frank, but his son, and I'm not going to get into it again because I already mentioned it in my last video. But I will admit I got a little bored. I'm definitely going to finish it, but I haven't read it in a couple of days because I wanted to finish a couple of other books I was working on, and I didn't have time. I don't have time to do everything, but I'll probably finish this soon. So yeah, the reason I paused is I was reading some Edna O'Brien. So I was just going to read August is a Wicked Month, but then I went on to Casualties of Peace and Johnny, I Hardly Knew You. And yeah, they are not for everyone. They're definitely for someone who loves literature, because you have to love literature, I think, or just love a really, I don't know, dark story, because they're real life, but they're really ugly stories, yet beautiful, and that's life. And you know, a lot of it is taken from her own life experiences, and I'm sure, you know, they haven't ended so bleak. I mean, she's still around. But anyhow, Irish author, she's like in her 90s now, her 80s or 90s, I think. Definitely a heavy like Hemingway, James Joyce influence. That's obvious. And so if you're into those guys, you'll like her writing. And I mean, she has her own voice, but you can see it was an influence. And she has said before, you know, she loves James Joyce and Hemingway. I can't talk very well. What else? Oh yeah, so this little book here I probably could have finished a little while ago, but I'm having so much fun with it. I'm finding it such a delight that I've been trying to read it really slowly, and that's hard because it's not very long. But it's Another Green World. It's about one of my favorite albums, the Brian Eno, Another Green World. And it's about you know, the creative process behind this. It's so intriguing. Brian Eno, like I said, is like known as being like the father of ambient music, but he also, some of his earlier albums, I mean, like Third Uncle is considered by many to be the first punk song, and he's got a lot of interesting, you know, like lyrical songs and just all sorts of different influences, funk, all sorts of different things. I became familiar with him, I think, through my love of the Talking Heads, because I knew that he worked on a couple of albums, and I knew that he collaborated with David Byrne. Like, I love David Byrne's solo career as well. And I kept hearing about Brian Eno, and I'm like, I need to actually, like, learn more about this Brian Eno guy. And it's all, some of the stuff I don't understand, like with the synthesizers and the tape recorders and stuff, like some of the machines they're talking about that they were using in the 70s. Like, I don't know what that machine, I wouldn't know how to operate that. But he considers himself a non-musician, and the creative process behind this was very interesting, because he would bring these professional musicians in, sometimes one at a time, into the studio, and record them separately. Like he would hit a couple of notes on the keyboard and say, like, you know, improvise on this, or give them specific instructions. And then he would bring it all together, and everyone would come back and listen to it. Like, oh my God. Oh my God, I sound so stupid. But it's interesting too, in the sense that he used the studio for the creative process, because usually you use the studio just for the recording. You've already created everything, you know, wherever, in your garage, your house, or wherever, you know, and then you record. But he used it for the creative process. That was the base. And the other interesting thing about him too is his approach was different, because considering that he considered himself a non-musician, somebody who wasn't necessarily as professional as some of these musicians he had in the studio, like Robert Fripp or Phil Collins or a number of others. He had more of a creative approach, so to that, rather than being, this is wrong, you can't do this, there's rules. He used, you know, the Awake Strategy cards, for example. So it was a combination of this professional musicians with this, like, this creative fire, and he has a very scientific mind. So he was using different, like, you know, strategies and things, like formulas, and I think really worked. But it's not cold at all. It's so beautiful. It's there's a spiritualism to it, which is, I find, very inspiring, and I think that's why I've just been listening to so much Brian Eno lately. It's just where I am right now. I get stuck on music when I'm creating, or I don't know, just going on different, like, thought tangents. But anyhow, so this is really fun, and I could have finished it like days ago, but I've just been sort of savoring it, and I should take some notes on it. It's fun. It kind of makes me want to read some of the other little books in the series. Like, there's a Talking Heads, Fear of Music. I don't know if it'll be anything like this. It might be a completely different approach, but I should look at it, and actually probably look at some other books on Brian Eno. So, did I talk about everything? Did I talk enough? Oh my God, how long have I been talking? Forever. So I think I covered everything that I wanted to show you guys, whoever's watching. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Bye.